Isolation day 15. Let's call this the day of annoyance. I found that yet again my blood sugars are going crazy low overnight. I'll show you yesterday's, which was here, and you can see, sorry, the morning before was 5.8, 5.4, 3.1, 2.7 between 2 and 8 o'clock. And yet the following day, when I had reduced my insulin further, you can see 3.3, 3.4, 3.6, 3.3, 2.3 and 3.7. But I was taking jelly babies throughout that. So to be honest, just really frustrating. I've made the decision that I would rather be higher than lower, to be honest, because then you're not quite as out of it, I guess you could say. So between 12 o'clock and 4 o'clock in the morning, my basal rate is going to be reducing from 0.85 to 0.7, and between 4 and 6 o'clock in the morning, it's going to be reducing from 1.05 to 0.9, and we'll reassess yet again. This is proving to be a bit frustrating. What it really does bring home is that I was that reliant upon the CGM to switch my pump off, and actually wasn't really too worried about it because it was doing it every night, which is obviously not a very clever thing to do. So let's get this sorted and that'll be fine. The rest of the day, if you have a look at the chart up here, you can see that started low again, went up to 7.5 around lunchtime, and then probably overcorrected for lunch, or over the insulin to carb ratio, which we've mentioned before, probably needs looking at, was fine between sort of 6 o'clock and, well, let's say 12 or 1 o'clock in the morning. It was absolutely fine. I think I'm going to be okay. I just need to get this overnight stuff sorted. Other than that, we went out for a walk yesterday. I didn't manage to go out and have a run, which is a problem. So I'm going to do that this evening. But yesterday we went out for a walk and it was quite a nice day. So I've got a picture of me and my son here. So what I was going to do was discuss with you why I was on a ketogenic diet, which we've previously mentioned before. So the reason I'm on keto is because I went through, about 4 years ago, I went through what was possibly the worst time of my entire life. I really struggled controlling my blood sugars. I was rebounding. I was on a roller coaster for about 9 months, rebounding up and down on a daily basis, 2 or 3 times a day, and it was wrecking my life. I was still able to function somewhat at work, but I was really struggling. I ended up having to beg for an insulin pump, to a certain extent beg. I wrote a letter to get an insulin pump, but also made numerous phone calls to try and get an insulin pump. The care team finally managed to swing it so that I did get one. As I say, I'm on the CGM as well, which I self-fund, so that's £205, £210 a month. So it's basically like having a car lease strapped to your leg. Other than that, or your stomach, the ketogenic diet was the short-term answer. To try and get control of my bloods, because they were going super high and super low. As you can tell, they still managed to go low at the moment, but they very rarely go high, really rarely go high. And because I associate long-term effects of being type 1 with your blood sugars being out of control and very high, I've always had a fear of doing so, I think, and I try and avoid it at all costs. So that period of my life was horrendous. Now what I've started to do since I've got a bit older is, I think this probably happens to most people, is you start looking at the future. When you're younger, you look at the there and now, and you don't really worry about the future hugely, because you think, well, I've got loads of years left. But now I'm 42, coming on for 43 shortly. I'm thinking about the future, and I want to obviously make sure that I'm fit and healthy and I can still function. I don't think the keto diet is the way forward. I think it's too high in fat, not wholesome enough. I always thought that was the case anyway, but actually when I came across the Mastering Diabetes podcast, I decided that I would go plant-based. So this is what I'm trying to do whilst we're in isolation. If I can do it, it improves my insulin sensitivity. It means I can eat a lot more carbs and actually, ideally, take less insulin, which would be awesome. So that's the real plan. That's the end here. That's the end goal. And at the moment, I'm quite far away from doing so. But That's not a problem. My aim originally was to start the transition after 2 weeks. Clearly I'm not there yet, so I think you just have to bear with me, and I'll show you my pain and the stress of going through it. I've now had 4 or 5 nights of getting up every hour to 2 hours. It's pretty bloody knackering, to be honest, but it is what it is. So let's get on with it and let's keep on going. I hope everyone's well and staying fit and healthy. It is a very concerning time at the moment. The numbers of people getting seriously ill and being hospitalized, and the number of people dying is increasing dramatically. And I've been speaking to family, and there's some people that have unfortunately passed away that are very close to me and my family, and it's a very sad time. So everyone needs to look after themselves. Make sure you're maintaining the 2 meter distance, because people are dumb, and let's be honest, they just aren't doing it. Look after yourselves, guys. I'll catch up with you tomorrow. Thank you.